So this is something actually that, I had this question come up, like, people know kind of the situation we've been going through. And we did a kind of like long weekend at one of these nicer hotels at the Ojai Valley Inn. And I had someone say, like, you keep saying you're broke. Like, that's an expensive hotel. And I'm like, well, because we didn't pay for it, because we utilized our points. And that vacation ended up being, very, very inexpensive. Welcome back to The Broke Billionaires, where we document our daily struggles in building wealth while raising a young family. Join us as we talk creative wealth building for everyday people and couples that are struggling in a down economy. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Joshua Masari, and we'll be your hosts.
On tonight's episode, we are talking spending tax-free money on travel and the finer things in life. I'm Lauren.
And I'm your co-host, Joshua.
And this is probably one of my more favorite topics that we're going to talk about because...
You got to actually talk today.
Because I also love travel and the finer things in life. Not that I don't love building wealth, but...
Also why we're broke.
Not kidding. Completely. Don't put it all on me. Yeah, it's just I'm a little more knowledgeable in this area than some of the other things.
Because it involves spending money.
Something I'm excellent at.
So let's talk about being broke. This podcast is The Broke Millionaires, and we are talking about building wealth with different investment strategies and creative tax planning. But we are broke. We are building wealth. We are multimillionaires, but we are broke, and it keeps getting worse. We are in survive to 25 mode. We're trying to finish up.
Getting worse.
Trying to finish up this last project that we're on, and it is just taking everything that we have, every penny in our bank to get this thing done. Pennies that we don't have to get it done.
Yeah.
But like personally, like this, again, this is not an easy way of building wealth. It works, but it's not.
I feel like we need to preface that in every episode. Like PSA, This is not easy.
We'll just do an update. Like, for example, this week we, it was yesterday you called to cancel the kids' swim lessons because we don't have the $200 or whatever it is to pay the monthly fee.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were kind enough to
work with us, and
gift us a month because we've been such great customers for the last.
That was amazing. I had tears in my eyes when I got the email back from them. I'll cry again thinking about them.
But that is our reality. We are, our net worth's over $3 million, and we can't pay our $200 kids swim lessons this month.
Yeah.
So we are out of cash.
Yeah.
So we are hanging on, trying to survive to 25 and trying not to sell these properties that we have. We really want to hang on and let this build wealth and appreciate, and we'll be better for it down the road. But we are making some very big sacrifices right now and
getting very, very uncomfortable.
And it's not that we are just so focused on building wealth and this is all we're doing and we're not working and not trying to pay the bills. We're small business owners, and our business has taken a toll since 2022 when things really slowed down. It really, really took a toll. And we have not really, the business is still surviving, and we're just focusing on paying our overhead and expenses, but there's not much left for us personally at the end of the day. So we really haven't had much of an income this year. So
yeah, it's been a rough year for sure. But
we are doing this podcast not because we think we're going to get rich from it, because that's not likely, but we are confident and determined to make it and become successful and continue building wealth. And we're just sharing our journey that most successful couples don't share. Nobody really shares as they're going through the trenches. It's always once they are at the pinnacle of their success, that's when they talk about the hard times. But nobody talks about the hard times in the hard times.
No. Like we keep going back to the iceberg analogy, and it's so true. Like everyone, it's so easy to look back once people are, have these super successful companies, these multi-millionaires, and be like, wow, it was really hard back then. But I feel like that's a little bit, it's hard to relate to that when you look at someone that's like so successful now, and it almost feels like just like, how do you get there? Right? Like,
and success is different for everybody. But yeah, when you see somebody that's a billionaire now, it's hard for somebody that's just starting out and struggling to envision getting to that point. They didn't become a billionaire overnight. They went through the trenches to get there. And a lot of those people were up against the wall and were broke at times, but they don't talk about that when it's happening. It's always after that. So we are doing something a little different with this podcast. We are talking about it as it's going on. So if we fall flat on our face and we go bankrupt,
you're all coming along with us.
You're all coming along. But on the other side, if we make this through, and hopefully that'll help motivate some people. And, it's just, we're just being real. This is, it's not easy. And, we don't have any wealth to fall back on with our families. We don't have inheritance. We have to make it. This is a do or die. We don't have a choice. If we want to have if we don't want to work through retirement and we want to actually retire wealthy and have a good, enjoyable life, we have to build this and become self-made ourselves, because there's nothing coming to us. We don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
We're also doing it in maybe one of the hardest areas to do this in, so that, maybe if we move somewhere cheaper, it could help a little.
Yeah,
but
for those that are in other markets, you don't have to spend $1.2 million to buy a fixer-upper. This is a lot easier. It's very difficult to do what we do where we live. It is. So if we can do it here, this can be replicated anywhere.
Absolutely.
And I say that because of home prices. $1.2 million house, the down payment is a lot larger. Your mortgage payment's a lot larger. It's a much higher risk. There is bigger, rewards because the appreciation, there's a lot higher appreciation. But just to get into a house is so much more difficult. Trying to get loans, your DTI, it's so much harder to do. If you're in a market where you can buy a decent house for, $200,000, $300,000, it's so much easier to pull that down payment together. We don't really make an income that's higher than if we lived in the Midwest or, Texas or Florida, like anywhere else. Like our income is not really much higher.
It's really not. It's just everything
right now,
else.
I mean, I paid year to date. I've paid myself $44,000, I think.
Yeah.
And I probably won't get another paycheck before the end of the year. So that is what we are surviving on in one of the most expensive markets in the country.
As a family of 5 currently.
Now we have rental income, but most of that rental income is going straight towards mortgages and the next house that we've rolled it over into. So they're all kind of paying for themselves. Well, right now they're not even paying for themselves, which is why we're struggling. But even then, $44,000, you can't live on that. So we've really, I don't know how we made it through this year, but it just seems like there's some sort of capital event that happens and we get a lump sum of cash and it carries us through for another month until something else happens. But
it's very much like
it's been a grind, and
month by month, day by day type situation.
Business is picking back up for our small business, and we're looking at possibly pivoting and kind of restructuring and taking the business in a different direction as things start to pick back up. The elections are over, the economy is starting to move, and we've seen it in our business. Just orders are starting to pick up. There's a little bit of a lag in the money that comes to us at the end of the day, but the trajectory is good, and just seeing the business starting to come in. So it's looking towards 2025, it's encouraging.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Absolutely.
We just need to make it to 2025. Got to make it without breaking it. So
I don't know if I've ever been so excited for a year to end.
It's been a rough year.
We've had some amazing things happen this year, but also it's been. And I want to say too, because I think people can immediately jump to a conclusion that a financial hardship can also be very hard on your marriage, which it can be. But I like to make it clear that thankfully, because of our foundation, it has not been hard on us as a couple, on our marriage or, anything like that.
There's definitely times that are rough, but I think it's important not to. So I think a lot of marriage problems, number one problem in marriage or issue is finances. It always comes down to finances. But I think what the root of the issue is that one spouse blames the other for the situation. Maybe the breadwinner may blame the other spouse because they're not bringing in an income, or the one that's not bringing in an income may blame the breadwinner for not making enough money, or if things go backwards or whatever. So I think it's a blame game, and that's kind of where
I think
it really becomes an issue. So I think we've done a good job of not letting that creep up.
I think too, we've always been very aligned with what our end goal is. And I think that's a lot easier when you are...
Well, and that comes down to communication. So we communicate that, we talk about that, we have that
almost daily. Like we talk about
so we have, our goals are aligned. We have a good faith foundation, and our marriage is built on that. And, that says a lot. So I think just because we kind of, and we have 3 kids with another one on the way. Another thing is that we put us first, not the kids. Yeah. Because if we're not at our best and we're not getting along, we're not going to be able to be good parents.
Absolutely.
So I think we pit ourselves against the kids because it's easier. It seems like a constant
I don't
battle.
know if it's easier.
Well, but we're on the same side. So we're it's the kids against us. Yeah. It's not, I think a lot of parents shift their focus and love to the kids, or one parent will do that
100%.
and they start to lose that connection. And I think we also talked a lot about this before kids, before we were even married, about how we came first in our family, not the kids. And so I think we've always kind of had that understanding, which has helped, and it's helped getting through situations like this. So.
Absolutely.
Just a quick disclaimer. The information shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. Your individual circumstances may differ and require specific strategies not discussed here. Now, let's get back to the show. All right. So, what are we talking about today?
A fun topic. So, we are talking points. So if you are a business owner, then today we're going to share a huge life hack that we've really taken advantage of. I mean, really our entire relationship, but just really in our own lives, and it's points. And
you don't necessarily have to be a business owner. So
no,
anybody that has a credit card can do this. And we're going to kind of focus on American Express because that's what we've utilized the most. I know there are some other good programs. I believe Chase has I don't know what Chase's program is. Their big card. It's either the Ink or...
I'm drawing a blank. That sounds...
Chase Ink, Chase Signature, Chase Sapphire. I don't know.
Sapphire.
Anyway, Chase has a program that I've heard is pretty good too, but we don't do that one. So we're more familiar with American Express. Yeah. But the versatility of the point system is just absolutely phenomenal. So being a business owner, again, you don't have to be a business owner, but the way you can really, really leverage this and take advantage of it is by using an American Express charge card for all your expenses that don't charge a fee. So any of your vendors that don't charge a credit card fee, put all your expenses on that card and then pay it off at the end of the month, and you're going to start racking up those points
very quickly.
Yeah. So with American Express, you get your initial introductory offer. Usually it's like 75,000 to 100,000.
Yeah, it depends on usually what promo they have. There's always like...
And the way with American Express, at least, the way the spending ratio works, essentially 1 point is worth 1 cent, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but...
I didn't realize it was 1 cent.
It's 1 cent, yeah.
Okay.
So 100,000 points start to add up. So 100,000 points is $1,000.
Yeah.
So we've used this for all of our flights, starting with a honeymoon.
Yeah, I don't know if after our honeymoon we've ever paid for flights, if it's been an affiliated airline.
Yeah, so with American Express,
that we've found
there's a couple different ways. Yeah, so for example, we went to Bora Bora for our honeymoon, and it was very expensive. The total, well, it's all relative. When we got married, for me, that was
when you
expensive.
Told me where we were going, and I was like, "There's no way you're paying for that."
Yeah, I was pretty cheap and still am, but it was about a $10,000 trip, and they had all these. I worked with because going there, it was hard to get to, and you had to go through all these hoops and all these different.
If you go to Bora Bora, absolutely use a travel agent.
So I used a travel agent. It was my first time using a travel agent, And they had all these deals that use the flights and everything. Like you package it all up. And I was like, I can't. I mean, the flights alone were $4,000. I was like, I can't do that.
And that was not like business class or anything. That was just like a regular economy seat.
By the way, our economy, we had this lady
my
jumping
gosh,
over the seats. This little 5 foot, probably 7-year-old French lady. Every time she needed to go to the bathroom, she would jump up on the armrest and she was on the window.
Literally jump over us.
She would jump over us, like walk along the armrest and hop down and run to the bathroom. I'm like,
while we are awake and just sitting there, like could have asked us
normal where she's from. I don't
move.
know.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about her.
So if you can afford first class,
so weird.
Probably worth a while, but you know. Okay. So $4,000 in flights, almost doubled the cost of the trip. And so I ended up getting the package with everything without the flights. And that was my first, because I had just started the business and I just had enough points to get the flights. So I had 400,000 points. And so I bought the flights with that. And that was my first like tax-free. So here's the thing with points. If I would have paid for that $4,000 flight with my money, that would have been post-tax dollars because I would have taken it out of my own income. It's not a write-off. It would have been money that I had been taxed on.
Mm-hmm.
With points, it never flows through your income for taxes. It's not reported as income. So I was able to buy that $4,000 in flights with tax-free money. So that's not only creative tax planning, but now there's creative ways to buy things with a tax-free money. So there's a lot of cards have options where you can take points or you can get cash back. And I think a lot of people take the cash back.
Or use your points as like towards purchases. Like you see that a lot with ours on Amazon.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with taxes.
To pay for it.
So when you do cash back, you actually get taxed on that money. So if it's a rebate check and they send you a check once a quarter or whatever, if it goes over $600 in a year, you are going to get 1099 and now you're getting taxed on that. If you take it as a credit, some of them do it as a rebate check, some of them do it as a credit on your account. So for example, with a business, if you end up getting a credit on your account, when you pay off that bill, you're actually paying whatever that rebate amount is less. So you can your actual expenses are now going to be less than what they would have been, which increases your profit, which is what you get taxed on. So you, at the end of the day, are paying taxes on the cash back rebates.
Yeah.
So using the points and spending them is a little loophole to get around being taxed on that. So you are now buying flights and the finer things in life with tax-free money.
Yeah. We like that.
Yeah, we do.
What else have we bought on points?
Oh, we bought all kinds of stuff. So there are, with American Express at least, there are some things that are better deals than others. And I always look for things that are 1-to-1 ratio. Mm-hmm. And what that means is 1 point equals 1 cent. So there are some things they offer where it's like you're only getting like 2/3 of a penny for.
So when we're saying this too, this is like specifically to when you're converting to gift cards, right? Or is there other things? Or I guess the flights everything. Too. Oh, that's true.
No, the flights are always 1-to-1, but sometimes they even have better deals.
Yeah.
But like,
I was thinking all the gift cards we've used.
If you like, it hooks to your Amazon account. So if you are at a store, you're at CVS, and it pops up, do you want to use your points?
Yes,
if you do
that's
that,
what I was talking about earlier.
If you do that, you're not getting 1-to-1. It's giving you about, I think it's 67% of the value. So you lose a lot by doing that. So we only use it once. So we're still frugal with our points. We don't just spend points like they're going out of style. Like we're still frugal with what we use it and make sure we're getting good value for those. But so travel's the number one thing that we use it on. Mm-hmm. What else have we used it on?
So we've used it on furnishing our home. We have used it. So with the gift cards that I was saying, we have been able to utilize, things like Restoration Hardware, West Elm, Crate and Barrel, Pottery Barn. I'm trying to think, are there any other home ones that those are usually the best ratios.
So right here we have, so you got travel, rental cars, another one that's 1-to-1. You can get a rental car and get a 1-to-1 ratio on that. So we've used that several times. You also get it with American Express. You get additional insurance. So you don't have to pay for the insurance because you get
Right.
insurance when you're booking with that card.
Hotels.
Hotels sometimes are one-to-one stays. They'll have specials. Usually it's the finer, they're
Finer
fine resorts and
collection.
hotels. Yeah. So they're finer. So it's usually a nicer hotel and you'll get the one-to-one rate on those. And you usually get all this extra stuff like free breakfast, late checkout, resort credits. You get all this extra
So
stuff.
this is something actually that, I had this question come up, like, people know kind of the situation we've been going through. And we did a kind of like long weekend at one of these nicer hotels at the Ojai Valley Inn. And I had someone say, like, you keep saying you're broke. Like, that's an expensive hotel. Like,
liars.
And I'm like, well, because we didn't pay for it,
Yeah.
because we utilized our points. And that vacation ended up being, very, very inexpensive.
We didn't spend, we drove up there in an electric car, so I didn't have to pay for gas. And which is also another thing that people, you have a nice Tesla car, but you're broke. Like, whatever. It was a different time. We bought that. It's paid off.
Yeah.
It's like, that was before we were
now it's really saving us.
Now it's saving us. Now we don't pay for gas. But we had so the hotel was paid for.
Our breakfast each morning.
We had breakfast every single morning,
and
then we had $100 resort credit towards our
bill,
dinner bill or whatever.
Yeah.
So and we had to pay for like 1 or 2 dinners. That was it for the whole long weekend. It was a great time.
Yeah, that's a great way to, especially for the nicer hotels. That's a great way to.
Yeah, and not all hotels, like you can book any hotel, but not all of them have the 1-to-1 ratio. So you really got to look and make sure you're getting that value. And then gift cards. Oh, so back to flights. So you can actually, with American Express, you can book through their website, and it's like going to whatever Travelocity or Hotwire, or one of these booking sites, and you can see all the flights and you can book it right through them, and you're able to just use your points directly as if it was cash. You can also transfer to your mileage account. So if you have, Alaska or Delta, United, whatever, you can do a transfer. You can transfer your points over to that other account. You just link your account, you transfer over, and it's like an instant transfer. Sometimes it's a good deal. Sometimes it's 1-to-1. Sometimes it's not as good of a deal. So you kind of have to look at it and see, because each airline has its own point system on what the value is. So you got to kind of look both ways to see what makes the most sense. But another hack that we've used is we'll book an Alaska flight, and then with it, because we're also Alaska, we have an Alaska card and we're Alaska members. So what we'll do is we'll book a flight with our Alaska points, use our Alaska card to pay for it. Well, we don't want to pay for it because we use points there too. But with the Alaska card, I think we pay $5 for whatever the taxes or something you have to actually pay a little bit. But we use that Alaska card. And when we do that, we get free baggage, because normally they charge you for bags. So we get 2 free bags for everybody on our reservation. So not just one of us, everybody in your reservation gets 2 free bags. And then what we'll do is we'll take American Express points and transfer those over to the Alaska account. So we'll buy the cheapest ticket available. And then for 25,000 points, which is technically $250 in value, Alaska will let you upgrade to first class. And we've done that several times. So for $500 between the two of us, $500 in points, we're able to upgrade to first class. And if you were to just buy it straight on the Alaska website, it's like 3 or 4 times higher. Yeah. So that's a little
We'll
hack.
only do that for longer flights though too. That's not something we're doing.
Yeah, because it's 25,000 points regardless of the flight. If you're flying across the world or around the world, 25,000 points. If you're flying 45 minutes, 25,000 points.
Yeah, it's kind of
so
crazy.
We don't use it on the little West Coast trips, but when we're going across country, we'll use it. I think we've used Hawaii. It to Maui. Yeah. So definitely a nice little hack there. And then the last thing that Lauren mentions is the gift cards. Gift cards are also, some of them are 1-to-1, some of them are not. So they have like Nordstrom and stuff like that, but you're only getting 67% on your money on that one. But so there's a lot of food.
Most of
Gift cards for restaurants, that's 1-to-1. Most of the furniture stores are 1-to-1. So the Restoration Hardware, Crate and Barrel, West Elm,
The retail, like you said, there's a couple retail that are 1-to-1, and sometimes they'll do specials. So you have to go through and actually look at each one to see if they're having any.
So sometimes they'll have sales, and it'll be
sales.
like Macy's will be a 1-to-1, or maybe one of these furniture stores will actually have a 120% to 1. So you're actually getting more for your money than the 1-to-1 ratio. So it does change. You got to kind of keep track of it. But we'll talk a little bit more about how we use one of those, or use a few of those on some exciting buys. Okay, so talked about the first class upgrade, which is definitely there's no way you can get that first class upgrade that cheap.
No, definitely not. We've tried. I've tried to be one of those people like smooth talking my way, and it's like, no, it doesn't work.
Okay, so with being a business owner, that is when this really, really, really. So anybody can use your points, obviously, for buying stuff, but typically people aren't spending that much. You're not going to rack up 1 million points on your I mean, if you are making that kind of money, you're spending $1 million a year and paying it off, good for you.
Yeah.
We're not at that. We're making $44,000 a year, so we're not spending that much money. But our business, on the other hand, is spending a lot more money. We have maybe on an average year, like between $600,000 and $800,000 in expenses that we're able to run through the American Express. So a lot of our vendors, this is starting to change because a lot of vendors have started to charge for it. So here's the thing. You can't pay credit card fees. Never pay credit card fees. If a vendor is charging you a 3% or whatever fee to use a credit card, it doesn't make sense because you're getting 1% back in point value and you're paying 3% on the front end for using that credit card. So it totally negates it and you're actually losing 2%. So it really is only a good idea if you are not being charged a credit card fee. So that's something, I don't charge it in our business. Like, for me, it's a cost of doing business, and it's kind of a philosophy that I've had, and I've never charged for it. A lot of companies do, but there are companies that don't. I have clients that don't own the companies they work for, but they have corporate cards, and their company, not all companies do this, but some companies will allow the employees to have their own American Express account. And so any expenses they put on that, they get to keep those points. So a lot of customers are like, hey, can we pay with a credit card?
Yeah.
They wanted to pay everything with the card because they're getting to bank those points.
And that just depends on each specific company because everyone runs it a little bit differently. Like when I had my corporate card, we didn't use it like that. Like it went to a corporate bank essentially. And
it was the owner.
Yeah, it was the owner. Yeah.
Millions of points a year.
She had
flying private on everybody's Amex points.
Yeah, not us. We were not reaping the benefits.
So not all companies do that.
You just have to look into how it's set up.
Yeah, if your company does that, like take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I do a lot of expenses all the expenses that I can on the American Express card because if it doesn't cost me anything more,
why wouldn't you?
I'm able to rack those points up. And with a business card, well, with all the American Expresses, you have one area or one, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like one type of expense that's a bonus. They call it a bonus expense or a bonus category, I guess, category. So for me, I do a lot of shipping in my business. UPS, FedEx, USPS. I spend a lot of money in shipping every year. Mm-hmm. And shipping is one of their expense categories. So I get 4 times points on all my UPS and FedEx bills. So I rack up a lot of points just on the shipping.
So with how we've been able to rack up these points, we also, the nice thing about it is we don't have to obviously use those points for the business, right? And those have with American Express, that's connected to our personal cards as well.
So
it is one account.
With American Express, you can create an American Express account and all your business cards, all your personal, we've got like 8 different American Express cards for different businesses and entities. They all flow into one spending account.
Yes.
So all of the points are just banked into one account. So it's one conglomerate.
Which is really nice because then you're not having points everywhere trying to keep track of too. It is really nice how
that's per person. When you have your card, it's separate. But in terms of like having different businesses, like if you have a corporate card or a business card in your personal account, it all comes into your personal spending account, and you get to use those points personally. So that's kind of nice how they wrap it all up like that.
Yeah.
So definitely. Here's the other thing too with a business. If you buy on terms, like if you've got 30-day net terms with your vendors and they give you 30 days to pay, if you can put it on a charge card and not have to pay the 3%, you can get more than 30 days. And I've done this before where I'll kind of like group a bunch of payments together right after the statement closes, because your statement closes and then it doesn't close for another 30 days. Once it closes with American Express, it's not quite 30 days to pay it off, but you have, I think it's like 22 days or something. They do like 3.5 weeks. But once your statement closes, you have that 3.5 weeks to pay the balance in full and not pay interest. So essentially, if I put a charge on right after my statement closes, I'm getting the 30 days plus the 22. I'm getting almost 60 days in terms by using the credit card. So I'm actually getting better terms than I would with my vendors, because my vendors only go 30 days.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's another way to be able to take advantage of a charge card and get better terms than you would on credit with your vendors.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, a little more. That's kind of more geared towards business owners, but that's another little hack.
Yeah. Let's see. You talked about new bonuses for when you are starting your American Express account, right? And obviously go ahead.
Yeah, no, the bonus points. So every time you open a new account, and I've got like 3 or 4 just for the main business, and then we have other businesses that have other accounts. So every time we open a new account, we open a new American Express card for that company, and we get the bonus points all over again.
Right.
So some American Express cards do have high annual fees. So like the Platinum, I don't use that for business, but I have a personal one. It's like $600 a year. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of benefits with it. And I think just in the benefits alone, we get, I think it's $200 a year in Uber credits. We get $200 a year in flight credits, $200 or $120 a year in the streaming service, like our Disney Plus and those streaming services. It pays for those.
Random retailers will have like a biannual credit that you get too. Like we have
Macy's gives us Saks gives us $50 per or twice a year, I think.
Twice a year,
so we get $100 with Saks. So we'll literally just go in there and go spend $50. Just find something for $50 so we don't lose it. And then there's other like benefits, but I think those are the cash ones. So if you can also get your the trusted traveler. Oh, no, we do the other one.
Global entry.
So we do global entry where
that can be covered.
We get the TSA pre with it, and we also get global entry for our international trips. I can't remember how much that costs, but I don't
remember how much it is now.
And it's like $150 or $200 every 4 years. But every 4 years we renew it on the American Express. American Express pays for that, so they give you they pay for every 4 years. They'll pay for your renewal. So
which
we get
then
that
also
for free.
Gives you it's priority pass too. So then you get in the lounges.
That's with American Express. You get priority pass, so you get a lot of lounge access around the world that you don't have to pay for. It's just included.
The other thing too is looking at the difference between like the platinum card, the gold card. They do have different, like I can't remember now at the top of my head which one is like better for travel, like using your card for travel.
Well, the platinum's
points.
always the best for travel.
But then isn't the gold better for something else? For didn't we look at like groceries or something?
Well, that's the bonus category. So for the business, I have shipping. For personal, I think we had it on groceries or gas.
You can choose
like
what
that.
You
can choose. You get to
That's
choose
right.
one category that you get like 3 or 4 times points
That's
on.
right.
So on the shipping, so I may spend $600,000 a year in expenses total for the business, or 600, 800, whatever it is, but I get over 1 million points because of the bonus categories.
Yes.
So I have one of the cards for one of the businesses is a blue card, and that one gives me double points on all categories. So all expenses are double points for the first 50,000. So after that, it's 1 point per dollar. But the first 50,000, I spend well over 50,000 in that business. So 50,000, I'm getting 100,000 points. So I'm doubling up on my points on that.
Hey guys, if you're finding value or just want to follow along on our journey, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. That would help us tremendously. You can also follow us on Instagram @TheBrokeMillionaires and be sure to share with your friends. Now let's get back to the show. So I think too, aside from just having a credit card and like saying you're getting points, it's like you have to be strategic about how you're doing it. Like it is still kind of a thought through process and how you're doing it.
Yeah, and we play the game really well, so we take advantage of that. But I mean, we get probably on average, I would say about $10,000 of value in points between, the flights and hotels and furniture and everything we spend on it. It's about $10,000 a year of tax-free expenses that we're being able to use for personal. So it's, if you use it right, it's a
can be very beneficial.
Very beneficial. Yeah, you can really rack those up and make it work for you.
Yeah. I want to go back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, the gift cards and what we've been able to kind of do with that, because that was a really fun one where we kind of had so we wanted the cloud couch from Restoration.
Let's start with the one before that. When we bought that house, the first thing we got was the dining room table.
No, but the idea started from the cloud.
Okay.
We wanted the cloud before we wanted the table, remember?
And if you don't know what the cloud is,
go to a Restoration Hardware
Go to Restoration Hardware.
Don't look it up. Go sit in one.
Ask them to sit in the cloud and you'll want to buy one too.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's not the prettiest couch. It's a little sloppy looking, but oh man, it's
and you got to go the Lux Deep one.
Well, we're tall.
We're tall people.
We're tall, so
but
not everyone needs
so
that.
Amazing.
It's a little hard to get up when I'm pretty pregnant. Okay, so I don't even know. Well, we must have first seen this couch when I was working at Fashion Island, and because the Restoration Hardware store was right across from the store I was working for, and were we on a date night or something? We just went and sat in it, or I had seen it. I don't remember how it happened, but we sat in this couch, and you were like, "Oh my, we are getting this couch eventually." But retail
for the one that we wanted, the 6-piece Lux, the top of the line, the retail on it was $18,000.
Yes,
which is absolutely insane. You can buy a car for that.
We weren't going to spend $18,000 on a couch.
I wasn't. I was not.
Yeah, we did not have $18,000
at the time. I owned a furniture store and I was selling used couches, and we had sold cloud. I knew what they were because we'd had them and they sold really fast. And I'm like, I don't get it. And then we got one. I sat and I'm like, well, why is this so? This is really comfortable, and kind of realized, oh, this is a legit couch, and looked it up and was like, oh, we need to raise the prices on it.
Yeah.
We were sold used.
Whoever got those,
we'd get them for people down in Newport Coast, and they just wanted it gone, and they didn't care.
Yeah,
and we'd buy it for free haul away, and then we'd clean it up and sell it for a couple thousand.
If someone knew what they were buying and how little they were buying it for,
they probably did. Because
they were like, these guys are idiots.
I didn't at the time. I didn't really know what Restoration Hardware. We were selling lower end couches, so I'm like, oh, whatever. It's just another couch. It's
realize
probably should have held onto that one.
So we had this in mind for years that we wanted this couch, and we also needed the space to have this couch because it's not. I mean, you can configure it obviously however you want. It's very customizable in terms of how, the shape, the setup, how many pieces you have, all of that.
And we were in the mindset we're going to be so rich someday. We're going to be millionaire. We're going to be a millionaire someday, and we're going to buy that couch. Well, millionaires came and gone, and we're not spending $18,000. It didn't really change our outlook on what we're going to spend and what the value of this couch was.
No, it didn't at all.
No.
But then we had a house that we were like, oh, this is a good size living room. We can have this couch space wise in here now. It would fit. So that was our mission when we bought the house. We were like, we are going to get rid of our current couch and we are going to buy this cloud. And so we were like, how can we figure this out? So Josh suggested going on American Express to see what gift cards, if there was Restoration Hardware gift cards. And you obviously found them.
Yeah.
But
they were still expensive.
And
we need a dining room table. So we're like, maybe we should just focus on a table first.
Let's do that, because we did not have, this also had a huge area for a dining room table where we were like, we could utilize a really massive table and to fill the space, and it would look so amazing.
And the look we were going for was modern farmhouse. That was all our renovation ideas. And Restoration Hardware had the look. They had the black table. It was going with the color scheme. Everything.
Huge. Was it 10 feet? I don't know. It was bigger than that.
Bigger than that. I think we got the 12-foot one.
Yeah.
It was 144 inches.
It was huge.
But what we did, because they were still expensive, it was still a $5,000 table, and we had just blew all of our points because our account was pretty low because we had just gone to Europe, not too long before that, and so we were kind of letting the points build back up. But what I realized was that the gift cards, because I was looking at the terms or something, and it said works at all Restoration Hardware stores on rh.com and
the outlet.
The RH outlet store. We're like, oh my goodness.
Game changer.
Game on. So we went and we
Talk about a scavenger hunt.
we called around. I think we called around to a few stores, and the store in Long Beach, which is not too far from us, said, we have one. We're like, what? We got to go. So we like drove down there that day because they sell fast. With Restoration Hardware, the good
Super
stuff,
fast,
it
yeah.
goes fast. Especially the outlets. If they get a good piece, it goes fast. So we went in there, and they had the one we wanted,
Mm-hmm.
had a little nick on one end. You know, it was a little gouge, nothing major, but it was 50% off or 60% off or something. I think it was around $2,000 for a $5,000 table.
Yeah.
And but we didn't have the money for it. So we also didn't have the gift cards yet because we didn't want to blow our points until we knew that we were going to use them for that.
Yeah.
We didn't get stuck with a gift card we weren't going to use. So I think we had to.
And you can also, the highest increments you can do them is $500, right?
I think it was 500. So we
Yeah.
had to get 4, but with the Restoration Hardware, at least at the time, and maybe still now, they didn't offer digital. Because if you do,
No.
if you get a digital gift card on American Express, it's just instant. You just get it right
yeah.
away, and you can just buy online. With the outlet store,
They had to have the physical card.
well, one, you can't buy it online with the outlet stores. You can only buy it
Right.
in person because it's
You
technically
can't over the phone either.
Yeah, so it's technically like returns or like something that's got an issue. So you have to see it in person. So you can't just buy it online or over the phone. And so you have to actually have a physical card. Also, I'm pretty sure with the Restoration Hardware at the time, they didn't even do the digital ones for whatever reason.
No. At
So
that time
you
they
had to exchange the points online on your American Express account and wait for them to ship it to you. And they get it pretty quick.
didn't. And pray the item was still in stock.
Yeah, they get it to you in a few days, but I think what we did was they couldn't hold it for us. They're like, no, the outlet can't hold it. I'm like, what if we do this? They're like, if you pay for it, we can hold it up to a week. So I think we worked out a deal. I'm like, what if we pay for it now and then we come back with our gift cards and then we just return it and then buy it again? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. So we paid for it and just let it sit there and hoping that the cards would come in before they released it and like refunded the card. But it worked out. We got the cards. We went in there, did the exchange, paid for the points, and I went and got a U-Haul because I didn't want to pay for their
That
delivery
table
fee.
was so expensive.
Their delivery fee was like another $300. I'm like, no, I'll just go rent a U-Haul. So I went and got a U-Haul with your dad. So me and my father-in-law went and did a trip over, and this table was heavy.
That was way heavier than you expected it to be.
And that was without the leg. We had the legs off, and it was just a big piece. I mean, we had the extension leaves out, and it was heavy.
Yeah.
We left it at the house. I'm like, we're never moving this again.
Yeah. Well, you need a big space for that. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, not even that. I'm just like, we're never moving this again.
Also, we had that dining table for maybe 2 years before we got chairs.
So this was during COVID. We bought this house in 2020.
The chair debacle.
And so we got this table, and then for the chairs, was it Crate and Barrel?
Oh my gosh. If you have followed me on Instagram from the time we bought this house, I was documenting this whole process.
So we tried to buy the chairs with Crate and Barrel. The same thing. Got the gift card and ordered these chairs online because we were able to do that one online. And it was like a perfect match. And they didn't.
Backstock.
It said they had them and they were delivering in 6 weeks. And then 6 months later, I think they missed our delivery and they gave them to somebody else. And they're like, oh my goodness.
And then they were also out again. And then they were like discontinued.
Yeah. So then we were.
Okay, here's something. We did get the gift cards for that. So there was then we were kind of stuck where it was like, you have to buy it through Crate and Barrel because that's what we had. Luckily, I know how to talk to people and talked my way up to a high up manager. And they're like, okay, because of the situation, you can use your gift cards at any of our family stores.
No, that always works that way. They're all the same company. So you can use Crate and Barrel, West Elm, and CB2.
There was something that they made an exception for, though.
But I think they gave us a discount. I think they priced because the ones that we wanted were more expensive. So they price matched it. But yeah, so the Crate and Barrel, you can use it all of their brands.
Yeah.
But the ones that we wanted, the next closest match was like another $80 a chair or something.
Way more expensive than.
So they ended up. I think they price matched to make it a little more.
That's right.
Reasonable.
So the chairs for the table took I think we only had them maybe a year. We might have had them a year that we enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So that was our first experience with the gift card. So once we knew that worked, then we were like, okay, the cloud was now our mission.
And so then we went to, we're like, we can do this outlet store thing. Yeah. Maybe they have cheap ones there. So we went to a bunch of outlets and We went to the one in Irvine and they had a really big one, and we went in there and we were all excited. And we're like, maybe this is the one. It was the exact setup we wanted and everything. And we go look at the price tag, and it's like 50% off price. Still, it was $13,000 for a used looking, and this one wasn't even that nice looking. It was like it had been a little beat up from delivery or whatever and got returned, but it was a $13,000 outlet couch. Like, this is not going to happen. So I got a little discouraged, but then I don't remember how we figured this out. I think, because when we were there, we were looking at, they sell individual pieces. So with the cloud couch, you don't just buy a sectional that's 6 pieces. You can, but they actually sell the pieces individually, and that's how it's priced. So you buy a corner piece, and it's just the couch with the cushions, but no cover. You got to buy the cover separately. Cover. So you got to buy your fabric is separate from the couch. So when you go online, you can get it all like packaged up, but it's really just individual pieces and then individual fabric slip covers that make up this piece, this finished piece. Mm-hmm. They have at the outlets, because with outlets, it's just whatever they get. Like somebody orders something that doesn't fit, so they return a piece, or an order gets canceled, or there's a piece that's damaged during delivery or whatever. So they'll just get random bits and pieces of these couches, and they'll sell them without the covers. And it's just like, here's an ottoman, and they'll have it for like 50% off. But if it doesn't sell within whatever it is, they turn stuff fast. And if it doesn't sell in like 14 or 21 days, they start marking it down a lot because they want to move it fast. So we figured this out, and we started with the 2 ottomans. We're like, we're going to get the cloud, the big one that we want, the color we want, and we're just going to get one piece at a time.
Piece by piece.
So we started with the ottomans. We got the ottomans.
Why did we start with is that just what we found?
Had.
That's right.
So they had 2 ottomans in the size we wanted, no slip covers, just the ottomans. And we got the ottoman.
We had our ottomans like under our stairs, just chilling there.
It was like $200 a piece or something. And normally this is like a $2,500 piece. And because they had them, they had a bunch of them, and they'd been there for like, 21 days or whatever. And the manager's like, we got a lot of these ottomans for whatever reason. And next week it's getting lower. I'm like, do you want us to come back next week, or you just want to make the sale now? And so I ended up like marking down. A few days later, it was going to get marked down again or whatever to 80% off. And so we got these ottomans for a couple $100 a piece. And we're like, we're going to do this. I think it took us, so we did it within a year. I'm pretty sure it was within a year.
It was within a year, yeah.
I think at around 8 or 9 months to get all the pieces and all the slip covers. And we were calling weekly to all
the stores,
all the West Coast stores. And we had slip covers that we found in San Jose. So we would give them, we knew the SKU numbers. We just call them. We're like, we're going to make this easy. I need you to look at your system.
We knew what days they got their shipments. We would call them when they'd get their shipments and say like, this is the one. Do you have it? We have one in our system. And we knew at that point, it was like, no, you don't actually have that one in your system. Like, no, we called you. Like, that's the other store.
And so we could tell the store, and then we have to call them, and they'd have to go find it to verify they actually had it.
Yeah.
We had 2 slip covers in San Jose. You had a friend up there.
I shipped her the gift cards. She bought them. And like,
oh, yeah, because you have to have a gift card. So we had to ship her the gift card so she could go in there and buy them. And she sent them back. And so we, like, from all up and down the West Coast, it was like San Diego, Chula Vista. There's another one over there, somewhere right there.
Oxnard. Did you go in from Oxnard?
Oxnard. I had to drive up to Culver City a couple times to get a few pieces. So all these, like the pieces I had to drive and get. I had to drive. Some of them, I think there was one where we got a few pieces and I paid somebody like some delivery.
Yeah.
I don't know. So some delivery guys that had to pick up and they deliver for $75 or whatever.
Yeah.
And because these are big, heavy pieces, and I didn't have a way. I had my SUV, but I didn't have a truck at the time. So I didn't really have a way to get some of these pieces. But we were able to piece the whole thing together. And after 9 months, we had all the pieces and all the slip covers but one, because we bought the slip cover, but we got home and it was not what was supposed to be in the package. It was marked wrong. So it was like we had an extra piece that we couldn't use. And it took forever to find that last slip cover.
Yeah, that was.
So we had the one that didn't quite fit, and it was like the back
corner. We like
so we had like blankets covered over it, so you couldn't tell. But we finally ended up finding it. We were so excited. We got the last piece, and we have these are basically brand new. All the slip covers, all the fabric was in packages.
Yeah,
so they were brand new,
great condition.
And then all the pieces underneath that were, they might have been returns or canceled orders or whatever. But we got, if you were to just buy the whole 6-piece Luxe U-shaped sectional, that's what we got. We just took us a little longer than.
So when we say we don't do things the easy way, we're not kidding. And also, now that I'm thinking about it, you tell me I'm not a very patient person, but I think I have a lot of patience to wait almost a year putting together a couch.
Well, it was
and
either that or
agreeing to
not get your
doing
cloud. So it's either.
But it still makes me patient.
So we had another couch. It's not like we didn't have a couch at all.
No, we had a couch.
But we had underneath the stairs. We had pieces
anywhere we
all
could put
over.
these
They're
pieces.
massive pieces.
I think we got to a point where we were like, okay, we can start to put these together.
Yeah, I think once it was like, okay, we got enough pieces to like at least sit on it. And so then as we kept getting more pieces, it kept getting bigger and bigger.
We were like, wow, this is great.
Then, once we had the whole thing, it was like massive. We're like, this is so awesome. But yeah, so I think we got an $18,000 couch. I remember adding it up. I want to say we still spent some money on it. I want to say it was probably $6,000 or $7,000.
$6,000, yeah.
Like if we were just to pay for it, but we did it with all points, so it was nothing out of our pocket.
It was all
so even at the outlet,
cards.
we still would have paid for all the pieces. It would have been about $6,000 or $7,000. But we got all the pieces, no money out of our pocket.
And that was still a headache going through because we still had to do the same thing each time with the gift card process. We got smarter and we started buying like once we knew we were getting it.
Once we were committed, we had some of the pieces. We were kind of committed at that
have gift cards on hand for the most part, but sometimes we would have to still pay for it.
Or it'd be a
little
more.
Get a gift card or two. Have to go back and get reimbursed. Those would always be, they would hate us. I swear they'd be like, oh, these people again calling.
Oh, they knew us.
The Irvine one.
Those Masaris are calling again. Like, just put them on hold and hopefully they'll go away.
Oh my gosh. But they were like super impressed once they found out what we were doing. There was a couple.
There was some that were like, hey, like call this day because we're getting a shipment in.
They were
or like,
great.
Or they'd tell us like some of them were more helpful than the others. There was a guy down in Chula Vista. I think that was super helpful. He would look up company wide and be like, there's two of them. Oh, he's like, oh man, this is like in Tennessee. I'm like, oh, that doesn't do us any good. So we got to walk in and get it. But he would tell us like where they were so we could like track them down a little more. So that was very helpful.
That was helpful.
Good to have a guy on the inside like that.
It really is. So yeah, we've gotten some really good purchases through there at the chairs, dining table, the couch.
Yeah. So the couch is definitely like a next level life hack. I mean, we took this thing to the max.
That was like a challenge we set out for ourselves too. And
I will say there is somebody that one-upped us though. And I remember reading this article. This guy ended up getting sued for it. He won. He didn't get in trouble for it, but it was like a slap on the wrist and like, you can't do this anymore. He was using his American Express card at a grocery store where he got 4 times the points. And he was... I don't remember exactly how it went down, but he was basically buying like a debit card or some way to get cash back, or no, money orders. He was paying for money orders at like a Safeway or Vons or something. He would, buy a bunch of money orders. He would get 4 times points because it was being spent at a grocery store because the system can't tell what you're buying. So he would buy a money order at a grocery store, get the 4 times points, take that money order that was made out to himself, go cash the money order, take that money, pay off the American Express, go back in the next day and get a bunch of more money orders, get 4 times points. And he was raking it in and ended up taking American Express for like in point value. It wasn't even point value because he was taking it and spending it on.
He was getting the cash back.
Well, he was buying. No, it was the points, but he was basically just doing it with American Express round and round. I don't remember exactly how it went down or what it. But
so he wasn't getting any cash. The cash was only to pay off the card. It wasn't like he was pocketing extra.
Right. So he was just taking the money and just recycling the money.
Oh, okay.
But he was racking up points really fast.
Okay.
And the value ended up being like $150,000 within like a few months' time. And American Express, something triggered it and flagged it, and they caught on and they sued him. But the judge ruled in favor of the customer and was like, doesn't say you can't do this. He's like, following the rules, like it's not illegal because you didn't. That. So they ended up having to change it and like figured out a way to change that. But the guy didn't get in trouble because he hadn't actually done anything wrong. Reminds me of when I was younger, back in the day. I think I was in high school, maybe middle school. Pepsi used to have Pepsi points. You don't remember that?
Nope, don't remember that at all. Sage,
you know the Pepsi blanket we have? Where do you think that came from?
The one that I throw on the blue side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pepsi used to have Pepsi points. I think you got that
from like a vendor or something.
So Pepsi used to have Pepsi points, and they used to run this program. This was really big back in the 90s. This was when Jenny McCarthy was their spokesperson.
Oh, yeah. That was more so when Britney Spears was their spokesperson.
Oh, okay. So that was the next generation. Okay. So they had this commercial They were pushing it. It was like all the commercials, Super Bowl commercials. It was Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi. They had big marketing push. They had like all these different things you could buy with points, and all these celebrities and stuff that they were pushing it. They had this fighter jet. It was a joke, but they had fighter jet, and it was 250 million points.
Like an actual fighter jet.
Yes, but they had a program. Their points, they allowed you to buy extra points. So if you didn't have enough points to get to redeem for one of their gifts, you could buy points for 10 cents per point. Somebody who had a lot of money calculated that the fighter jet was actually more than the 10 cents per point that they were advertising. And whatever, it might have been like 250,000 points, which whatever the conversion, it ended up being a really good deal for this fighter jet.
Yeah.
And so he ordered the fighter jet and tried to pay for the points and buy it. And they said, no, that was a joke. They said, no, you advertised it on national television. I'm paying for the points, getting my fighter jet. And she sued them and he won because they advertised it. It was false advertising. Like, they weren't going to give it to him.
Cash value of it? Or?
So I don't remember how much he got, but yeah, he won because they wouldn't give him what they were advertising. So then they changed the commercial to like, say it was 250,000 points. The next commercial, they revise it and they say still had the same commercial, but now it said 250 million points so that they couldn't.
There was no way
so it's like a higher value. Yeah. So somebody screwed up on that one, but funny little tidbit there.
That is funny. I thought you were going to say you had some crazy hack in how you got your Pepsi blanket. I was like, oh man.
So I actually do.
Of course you do.
The way I got my Pepsi points is I worked in a grocery store, and in Oregon, you return your bottles for 5 cents back.
They do that other places too.
No, not. So California is different. It's by weight. You don't get nearly as much.
Oh.
In Oregon, it's 5 cents per bottle.
Okay.
So it's a lot, like people hold on to them lower because you get a lot more money back. But I would count those for people by hand. So I would count them and like I had this machine in the back and all this stuff. But a lot of people didn't save their points. So when I was counting the bottles in the back and there was a cap on there, I had this little bag and I was just all day I was counting bottles. I was saving points. So I'd go home with like hundreds of points every single night and just rack it up. And I was buying DVDs and all kinds of stuff. Goggles, snowboarding goggles. I had like 10 pairs of snowboarding goggles, Pepsi blankets. I had all kinds of stuff. So anyway, all right. That's probably enough for today.
That's probably a good spot to end it on.
Yeah.
Do you have any book recommendations for today?
So I don't have a book recommendation on points. I'm sure there probably is one. Maybe there's not. Maybe we should write one. I don't know. But I will say that there is a guy. He's called The Points Guy. I don't even know his real name. He's just The Points Guy. This guy started doing like social media, like point life hacks on points. American Express and all these different.
Mostly travel, I feel like, is kind of his big thing.
Mostly travel. But this guy's like blew up and he's really big now and flies all over and is a really big points, travel influencer, but it's just all about the points. So I've learned a bunch of tricks and tips from this points guy. Mm-hmm. I think that was how I found out about the Alaska Airlines first class.
I think it was.
So like little tidbits and things like that. And like anytime someone's running a big promotion, I don't know if it was from him or not, but like Southwest did that promotion where you get unlimited flights for your what was a buddy pass.
Oh yeah.
So they did that deal where all you had to do was sign up, and there was some trick. You signed up for this card and that card, and it got you the
companion pass.
Companion pass. That's what it's called. Yeah. So I think that might have been where I found out about that.
For like a year, right?
Yeah. We used the heck out of that thing.
Yeah, we did.
Before kids, we were traveling all the time.
Oh yeah.
So the points guy, you can follow him on Facebook, probably Instagram, wherever else. I'm sure he's kind of on everything. But that's a good source for life hacks or point hacks.
It is a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to end with?
No, I think that's pretty much it for today. I do want to say, for anybody that's serious about, building wealth and just trying to create a better future for yourself, it's just something you got to get out there and do. You just got to get out there and make it happen. It's not, things don't happen by themselves. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to take initiative. You got to get out there, take action, and make it happen. So I'll just leave them with that. That's the phrase of the day, or the phrase of the
episode.
The episode, yeah. But it's not just the episode. Like that's just the thing I've always, you got to get out there and just make it happen. So get out there, Make it happen. Have a good night.
Good night. Thanks for listening. This has been a production of Rebuilding the Dream Studios.